Easy shot.
This flight seals the bond. You cannot wait.
Oh, shit!
Hey. Charlie 2-1, watch your spacing.
All right, people, target in.
The ground has movement.
Hold there.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hollywood Cine Mystery. Imagine waiting more than a decade for a movie sequel. Most people would lose interest. But when Avatar, The Way of Water finally arrived, millions of fans around the world rushed to theaters, and the film became one of the highest grossing movies in history. So, what made this movie so special? Today, we're diving into the real and fascinating fact behind Avatar, The Way of Water. No rumors, no made-up stories, only verified facts. The man behind the vision. The film was directed by legendary filmmaker James Cameron, the same genius behind Titanic and the original Avatar. Cameron is known for pushing technology beyond its limits. He doesn't simply make movies. He creates worlds. Produced by John Landau under Lightstore Entertainment, this wasn't just another sequel. It was a project Cameron had been planning for years, meticulously crafting a legacy that would redefine cinema. The evolution of performance capture, beyond the cameras. The secret sauce of Avatar lies in performance capture. In the original film, the technology was limited. In the sequel, Cameron pioneered a new system called depth camera synchronization. They use infrared sensors to track the actor's facial muscles with such precision that every micro-expression, the twitch of an eye or the subtle arch of a brow, was transferred to the Gnostics models. This allowed the actors to truly inhabit their blue counterparts, ensuring that when we watch Neytiri cry or Jake Sully scowl, we are seeing the actors' actual raw performances, not just animation. Why the 13-year wait? The first Avatar was released in 2009. The sequel didn't arrive until 2022, a gap of 13 years. This delay wasn't just about scheduling. It was a technological blockade. In 2009, capturing motion underwater was considered impossible because water distorts the light and breaks the infrared sensors used in standard motion capture. Cameron's team had to invent a brand new, proprietary underwater motion capture system. They spent years testing different types of wetsuits, markers, and lighting setups, effectively inventing the physics of underwater digital cinematography from scratch. He refused to compromise, waiting until he could bring his vision to life exactly as he imagined. The underwater challenge. One of the most incredible facts is that many underwater scenes were filmed in real water tanks rather than using dry for wet techniques. Production built a massive tank holding 900,000 gallons of water. The actors had performed underwater for real, undergoing months of training with professional free divers. Kate Winslet stunned the team by holding her breath for an unbelievable 7 minutes and 14 seconds. The psychological toll was equally intense. To achieve the perfect underwater look, actors had to act while holding their breath, which suppresses the natural urge to gasp or struggle. This forced them to enter a meditative, calm state. If you look closely at the film, you will notice the actors don't have the panicked look of someone drowning. They look as fluid and graceful as a marine life they are portraying. Cast members like Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, and the then 70-something-year-old Sigourney Weaver all completed this intensive training. Cameron's ocean obsession. James Cameron has spent much of his life exploring the ocean. He has completed over 70 submersible dives, including 33 trips to Titanic wreck. And in 2012, he made a solo journey to the Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth. During the production of The Way of Water, he often held creative meetings while scuba diving in the filming tanks, communicating with his crew via specialized underwater intercoms. He once said that if audiences couldn't truly feel the water, he hadn't done his job. Financial risks and success. With a production budget of up to $460 million, the film was a massive financial risk. The $2 billion benchmark wasn't just a business goal. It was a survival mandate. Disney and 20th Century Studios had invested so heavily in the physical infrastructure of production, building custom studios in Manhattan Beach, California, that if the film had failed, the remaining planned sequels would have been canceled instantly. Against all odds, it grossed over $2.3 billion, making Cameron the only director in history to have 3 films hit the $2 billion mark: Titanic, Avatar, and The Way of Water. The environmental message. Pandora as a mirror. A crucial, often overlooked element of the film is its environmental soul. Cameron used the Tolkien, the massive whale-like creatures of Pandora, as a direct allegory for Earth cetaceans. The hunting scene in the film was explicitly designed to mirror real-world whaling practices, aiming to stir empathy in audiences. Every piece of flora, from the glowing anemones to the swaying kelp, was modeled after real-world endangered ecosystems. The film functions as an eco-fable, forcing us to realize that the alien beauty we see on screen is actually a love letter to the fragile oceans of our own planet. The art of world building. Did you know that the Nausicaa language has its own grammar and vocabulary? Created by linguist Paul Frommer, it was expanded for the Metkayina clan, the reef people. They developed a unique dialect and sign language specifically for underwater communication. The actors had to learn these distinct gestures, which weren't just for show. They were functional, designed to be seen clearly through the murky, shifting light of the ocean. The technical marathon, VFX, and data. The sheer data load was staggering. The film utilized the Weta FX studio in New Zealand, one of the few places in the world capable of rendering such high-fidelity water simulations. The production generated an astonishing 18.5 petabytes of data. Each frame of the movie required thousands of hours of computing time. If one computer had tried to render the entire film, it would have taken roughly 10,000 years to finish. Hundreds of VFX artists worked around the clock to ensure every ripple and light ray felt real. The emotional core, a modern epic. Beyond the box office, there were personal sacrifices. Zoe Saldana immersed herself in nature for months, studying predator movements to ensure her naturi felt authentically Nausicaa. Stephen Lang's transformation into the recombinant Quaritch was so intense that his co-stars found his presence on set genuinely intimidating. At its heart, this is a family drama. By aging the characters, giving Jake and Atari children, the story shifted from a hero's journey to a parent's struggle. The universal fear of failing to protect one's family is what makes the alien stakes feel human. This emotional tether is why the 3-hour runtime didn't feel like a chore. It was an investment in a family that we, the audience, had grown to care about. When Jake says, "A father's job is to protect," it mirrored our own universal human experiences. The future and final thoughts. James Cameron and his team began writing ideas for future Avatar stories years ago, viewing Pandora as a vast, rich universe. Looking ahead, we know the sequels will explore new biomes on Pandora, volcanic regions, polar ice caps, and perhaps even the Ash People. Avatar. The Way of Water is more than a blockbuster. It is a story of patience, technological innovation, and a commitment to bringing an impossible vision to life. A 13-year wait, record-breaking underwater performances, and a profound message about our natural world. That is the true story behind the film. The story of Pandora is far from over, with more locations and deeper mysteries promised in the coming years. If you enjoyed these amazing facts, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Hollywood Cine Mystery. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next mystery.